नमस्कार दोस्तों, जैसा कि पिछले वीडियो में हमने बात की थी DOL, स्टार डेल्टा और ऑटो ट्रांसफार्मर स्टार्टर से 3 फेज इंडक्शन मोटर को कैसे स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। और फिर मैंने ये भी कहा था कि अगले वीडियो में हम VFD क्या है, वेरिएबल फ्रीक्वेंसी ड्राइव, और VFD से 3 फेज इंडक्शन मोटर में कैसे एक डिज़ायर्ड टॉर्क अचीव किया जाता है बाय कंट्रोलिंग द इनिशियल इनरश करंट, जिसको हमने लास्ट वीडियो में ISC नोट किया था। तो 3 फेज इंडक्शन मोटर में ISC जो होता है वो यदि DOL के केस में देखें तो वो 7 टाइम्स ऑफ I फुल लोड होता है। तो जब मोटर को डायरेक्ट स्विच ऑन किया जाता है विदाउट कंट्रोलिंग द वोल्टेज, तो मोटर शुरुआत में 5 से 7 सेकंड के लिए अपने फुल रेटेड करंट का 7 टाइम्स करंट ड्रॉ करती है, जिसकी वजह से मोटर में हीटिंग भी होती है और जिस बस के साथ मोटर जुड़ी है उस बस में वोल्टेज ड्रॉप भी होता है। तो उस बस का वोल्टेज डाउन होता है उतने टाइम पीरियड के लिए ड्यूरिंग 5 to 7 सेकंड्स। बट इन केस ऑफ VFD, वोल्टेज और फ्रीक्वेंसी को प्रोपोर्शनेटली वेरी किया जाता है। यदि फ्रीक्वेंसी शुरुआत में 10 हर्ट्ज़ है, यानी कि 20% है, तो उस समय आउटपुट वोल्टेज VFD का वो भी 20% होगा। अगर 400 वोल्ट की मोटर है तो शुरुआत में सिर्फ 80 वोल्ट ही उसमें से आउटपुट में मिलेगा हमको। बट टॉर्क जो है वो इनिशियल टॉर्क ज़्यादा डाउन नहीं होगा। तो मोटर का जो स्टार्ट है वो एकदम स्मूथ स्टार्ट होगा। और हम ये जो स्टार्टिंग टाइम है इसका 10 हर्ट्ज़ से लेकर और 50 हर्ट्ज़ तक का, इसको अपने हिसाब से कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं प्रोग्रामिंग के थ्रू। मतलब उसको कहते हैं एक्सीलरेशन टाइम। तो उसको हम VFD में प्रोग्राम करके और कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, एक्सीलरेशन एज वेल एज डी एक्सीलरेशन। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। यहाँ एक ग्राफ में DOL, डायरेक्ट ऑनलाइन स्टार्टर। तो डायरेक्ट ऑनलाइन स्टार्टर से जब हम मोटर को स्टार्ट करेंगे तो मोटर फुल लोड करंट का 700% करंट, यानी कि 7 टाइम्स करंट ड्रॉ करती है। और जैसे जैसे टाइम जाता है और मोटर फुल लोड पे पहुंचती है वो करंट रिड्यूस होता है। इन केस ऑफ स्टार डेल्टा स्टार्टर, ये जो उसमें भी 200% के आसपास करंट फ्लो होता है। और जब मोटर स्टार टू डेल्टा चेंज ओवर होती है अराउंड दिस 37.5 हर्ट्ज़ पे, तो फिर से एक पीक करंट उसमें ड्रॉ होता है और फिर वो धीरे धीरे डाउन होता है। तो इसका स्टार डेल्टा वाले का ग्राफ कुछ इस तरह से बनता है, लाइक दिस। जब हम 3 फेज इंडक्शन मोटर को सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर से चलाते हैं तो सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर के केस में करंट शुरुआत में 100% होता है, क्योंकि उस समय सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर जो वोल्टेज है उस वोल्टेज को कंट्रोल करता है। मतलब सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर में फ्रीक्वेंसी कंट्रोल नहीं होती, सिर्फ वोल्टेज कंट्रोल होता है। और शुरुआत में जो वोल्टेज है वो 30 से 40% तक सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर डाउन कर सकता है। फिर भी सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर के केस में जो मैक्सिमम इनरश करंट है वो एक मोमेंट पे 300% तक जाता है, मतलब कि 3 टाइम्स तक। तो सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर का जो ग्राफ है वो कुछ इस तरह से बनता है, लाइक दिस। बट इन केस ऑफ VFD और VLT फ्रीक्वेंसी कन्वर्टर, ये जो ग्रीन कलर की लाइन है जो कि एक स्ट्रेट लाइन है, उसमें करंट जो है वो धीरे 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 बढ़ता है एज़ पर द फ्रीक्वेंसी। और जब फुल रेटेड RPM पे वो करंट लेस देन 100% ही होता है और विद इन द लिमिट रहता है। तो VFD से ये एक एडवांटेज है कि मोटर का सॉफ्ट स्टार्टिंग पॉसिबल है, एज वेल एज करंट कंट्रोलिंग पॉसिबल है वाया कंट्रोलिंग द इनिशियल आउटपुट वोल्टेज with respect to the frequency or RPM. Now, what is the variable frequency drive? So, variable frequency drive converts the electrical power from fixed voltage and fixed frequency to a variable voltage and frequency, making it possible to adjust the speed of a standard electrical motor. As the speed n equals to 120 F, F is the supply frequency divided by number of pole of the motors. This is a block diagram of a variable frequency drive. इसमें जो भी हम 3 फेज सप्लाई देते हैं वो फुल वेव रेक्टिफायर के थ्रू सीधे AC से DC में कन्वर्ट होती है। सपोज़ हमने 415 वोल्ट सप्लाई दी, तो ये AC सप्लाई सीधा DC में कन्वर्ट होता है, तो इसे कई बार अनकंट्रोल्ड फुल वेव रेक्टिफायर भी बोलते हैं। अनकंट्रोल्ड फुल वेव रेक्टिफायर कंटेनिंग 6 डायोड, 2 डायोड्स पर फेज। तो ये जो DC बना यहाँ पर, दिस इज़ द पॉजिटिव एंड दिस इज़ नेगेटिव। इसमें हम फिल्टर्स यूज़ करते हैं टू ब्लॉक द AC रिपल्स। और उसके बाद ये जो तीसरा ब्लॉक है, दिस इज़ कॉल्ड इन्वर्टर, इन विच दिस DC is converted into sinusoidal AC supply by firing the IGBT connected। तो एक फेज़ के लिए 2 IGBT का यूज़ किया जाता है। IGBT मीन्स इंसुलेटेड गेट बाइपोलर ट्रांजिस्टर। दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द थायरिस्टर फैमिली। तो इसमें हम एक स्मॉल सिग्नल से इसके फायरिंग को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, एंड दिस इज़ द कंट्रोलिंग यूनिट। सो एज वी हैव सीन इन AC इंडक्शन मोटर, द रोटर हैज़ वाइंडिंग विच इंटरसेक्ट द रोटेटिंग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जनरेटेड बाय द स्टेटर वाइंडिंग। At full load speed, the rotor turns slightly slower than the synchronous speed of the motor. This is because the magnetic field causes current to flow in the rotor winding and produces a torque which turns the rotor. So, if the rotor turns at the same speed of the magnetic field, there would be no relative motion between the rotor and the magnetic field, and no torque would be produced. The amount of speed by which the rotor lags the rotating magnetic field is known as the slip of the motor। जैसा कि हम लास्ट वीडियो में भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। The higher the slip, the motor torque produced is more, because torque is proportional to the square of the current and the full load slip. The speed at which the magnetic field rotates depends on the number of poles or the coil distributed around the stator and the frequency of the supply current. This is called the synchronous speed. As we have seen in last slide also, this is 120 F upon P. The following diagram shows the torque speed relationship of a typical induction motor. Here the starting torque is somewhat around 150 to 200%, and this is the pull up torque, and this is the breakdown torque. At 75% of the speed, we are getting the maximum torque, that is around 2 times of the full load torque, and at full RPM there is no torque, but motor rotates at a RPM less than the synchronous speed because of slip. In a squirrel cage induction motor, this is a stator, these are the laminations, end rings and the rotor bars. The rotor winding is a squirrel cage motor are aluminum or copper alloy bars that are positioned along the direction of the shaft and short circuited by end rings as shown in the diagram. The shaft of the bar and resistance of the alloy used in their construction influence the torque speed characteristics. Now, the most important thing of the variable frequency drive is PWM, pulse width modulation. How the sinusoidal output supply is being generated by the VFD. When operated from a constant frequency power source, typically in India 50 Hz, AC induction motor are fixed speed drive devices. A variable frequency drive controls the speed of an AC motor by varying the frequency supplied to the motor. The drive also regulates the output voltage in proportion to the output frequency to provide the relatively constant ratio, that is called V by F, as required by the characteristics of AC motor to produce adequate torque. By keeping the V by F constant, we get the maximum flux. The first step in this process is to convert AC supply voltage into DC by the use of rectifier, as we have seen in the block diagram. DC power contains voltage ripples. These are smoothened using the filter capacitors. This section of VFD is often referred to as DC link. This DC voltage is then converted back into AC. This conversion is typically achieved through the use of power electronic devices such as IGBT power transistor using a technique called pulse width modulation. The output voltage is turned on and off at high frequency, somewhat around 3 kHz to 4 kHz. With the duration of on time or width of pulse, control the approximate sinusoidal waveform. Older drive technologies like current source inverters and variable voltage controllers use SCR or thyristors. So instead of IGBT, earlier the SCR silicon control rectifiers or other thyristors were being used. This technique have now been replaced by the PWM VFD. The entire process is controlled by a microprocessor which monitors the following things: incoming supply voltage, speed set point, DC link voltage, output voltage and current to ensure operation of the motor within stabilized parameters. So this is the block diagram as we have seen earlier. This is the voltage line to neutral, and this is the current line. AC line is converted into DC. This is the choke circuit, this is inverter and the motor connected. This is the block diagram of PWM of the VFD. In the simplest drives or application, the speed reference is simply set as set point. However, in more complex applications, the speed reference comes from a process controller such as PLC or tachometer. So, at which speed we want to run, it can be given through the PLC with a signal of 4 to 20 milliampere, or even the VFD is having the facility to connect any potentiometer across the terminals provided in the control circuit, and it is regulated from 0 to 10 volt mostly. So this is also a speed reference and this is also a speed reference. Both are in the form of analog. Now this is the typical diagram which shows the input fuse, reactors. This is the input EMI filter, electromagnetic interference. This is the block diagram of the VFD. This is the braking resistor. This one is the output choke and this is the motor connected. So input fuses, as we know, it provides the protection against the short circuit. Input line reactor that protect AC drive from transient over voltage condition, typically caused by the utility capacitor switching. So that creates transient in the main line, and the input line reactor also reduces the harmonics associated with AC drives. So normally input line reactors are recommended in all installations. Now the EMI filter, this is the EMI filter, reduce electromagnetic interference or noise on the input sides of the inverter. They are required for CE compliance and recommended for installations prone to sensitive electromagnetic interference. Because VFD itself is a switching device which generates a switching frequency of 3 to 4 kilohertz, which may create electromagnetic interference with the line and the associated equipments also. Output line reactor, this is the output line reactor, protect the motor insulation against drive short circuit and IGBT reflective wave damage. Output line reactors also smooth the motor current waveform, allowing the motor to run cooler. The line reactor can be used for either input or output application. Output line reactors are recommended for operating non-inverter duty motors, because we are applying VFD nowadays for the normal motor and the inverter duty motor also. So if we are connecting the VFD for the non-inverter duty motor, then this choke in output side is must to be connected. Now this is the dynamic braking resistor. So it allows the AC drive to produce additional braking while stopping, or it's provide the braking torque. AC drive can typically produce between 15 to 20% braking torque without the addition of any external component. But dynamic braking resistors may be required for application requiring rapid deceleration or high inertia load. Especially in crane, we need to stop the hoist very smoothly and very instantly. So this is being achieved by the braking unit or dynamic braking. This is the power and control wiring diagram of a normal VFD. So L1, L2, L3 are the terminals where the main supply is being connected via input choke and the fuses. T1, T2, T3 the terminals on which the driven AC induction motor is being connected. B1, B2 are being used for the braking resistor. This is the earthing terminal, and these are the DI to DCOM called the digital inputs for the various applications command. This is for stop, this is for reverse or stop, this is external fault, these are for multi-speed, and this is the frequency reference signal or analog voltage signal, where a potentiometer is being connected to run the VFD or to control the output of the VFD. So according to this reference signal, VFD produces the output of frequency and voltage in proportion. These are the relay output that inverter is running or inverter is having fault, so that can be taken for the use to stop the supply or to stop the motor, like that. This is the analog output, that how much current or voltage the motor is drawing or output frequency, that can be programmed. This is the RJ12 serial communication port via which we can connect any VFD with the PLC or the automated SCADA system. When we are using the multiple drives connected with the common supply line, and this individual VFD is running the individual motor, then it is essential to provide input choke for both the VFD. So individual line reactors are recommended when installing multiple drives on the same power line. Individual reactors eliminate cross talk between multiple drives and provide isolated protection for each drive for its own specific load. When we are using multiple motors via one VFD, if we are running two individual motors, it is recommended to provide overload relay for both the motors, and before that output choke is recommended. So a single reactor can be used for multiple motors on the same drive if motor operates simultaneously. Size the reactor based upon the total horsepower of all motors. Select a reactor with a current rating greater than that sum of the motor full load current. Overload relays for individual motors are also recommended. Now, as we have seen that we can control the voltage and the frequency of VFD, so at reduced RPM the frequency is also reduced, accordingly the output voltage is also less. So the power consumed by any motor which is proportional to Vi cos phi is also being reduced. So ultimately we are saving the energy. If we are running pumps or fans, how this energy is being saved? Let us see some examples. Affinity law describes the link between the speed n, flow q, and head h and power p of the pump. So especially the link between p and n is essential when optimizing the energy consumption of the pump. The power P needs is proportional to the cube of the RPM or speed or flow. So reduced flow means reduced power. It means the flow is proportional to the speed, where head is proportional to the square of the speed, and the power consumed by the pump or fan is proportional to the cube of the speed. Valve and damper control and the power requirement, speed constant. So this is the percentage input power and this is the flow of the pump or fan. So relatively small decreased power is required for large decrease in flow. If the flow is 60%, the power requirement is somewhat around 85%. So in that sense, we can save the energy if the flow is less. Here the variable speed operating points are shown. So as we have seen, if the flow is less, the pressure will be less. So at 60%, the pressure is around 40%, where the flow is 80%, the pressure will be around 65%, and when the flow is 100%, the pressure is also 100%. So according to these operating points and rated speed pump curve or reduced speed pump curve, we can achieve the energy saving at which point it is maximum possible. Now the variable speed power requirement. If the flow is 20%, so the input power required will be around 30%. So there will be a large decrease in power requirement for relatively small decrease in flow. Suppose flow is 80%, the power is less than 60%. If flow is 100%, then power is 100%. So that time there is no saving, but if the flow is less, there is very large decrease in power requirement. 95% of AC motor have no controls. Without control they run. 50% of above are used for fan and pumps. Majority of them are oversized. Typical controls are normally dampers and valves are used. Application like compressor, pump, fan use vast amounts of energy. An average motor consumes its own value in energy approximately 40 days of running, not complete. Key benefits to use the VFD: it saves energy, excess capacity of the system, better regulation and control of the process, reduces overall equipment and installation cost, reduces maintenance cost due to smooth start, reduce installation cost, reliable start stop and synchronization, reduce the maximum demand because the power consumed will be less, starting current restricted to 100% of the full load current as we have seen in the graph, improving the power factor also, use energy saving with nominal speed control. Additional benefit using variable frequency drives: eliminates starter and contactors, not require PF correction capacitors, eliminates protective devices or single phasing etc. These are inbuilt in the VFD. Eliminate measuring devices like ammeter or voltmeter. Nothing is required. Every facility is given in the VFD itself. Additional benefits using variable frequency drive: reduces mechanical stress due to smooth start, reduce maximum demand, means there is no extra power consumption, and 3 wire system instead of 6 wire. If your motor is star connected or whether it is delta connected, there is no need to draw the 6 wires. All the motors can be connected with 3 wires only. Only 3 output wires are required to connect any kind of motor. All the VFDs can be connected with the PLC using RS485 Modbus or serial bus. Earlier RS232 was also being used. So via Modbus and serial bus, all the VFD can be controlled with the PLC, and all the application can be automated. So thank you for watching.